Carrying on from episode 4, there's the extension of the hill that I made, which has left me with this tunnel, which needs an entrance obviously. So here we are. Where the tunnel comes out the other side of the hill, we have a roadwork scene, and we also have a little bit of spare land there which we'll make into an allotment. Meanwhile, down at the harbour, work starts on the promenade. Right, so we'll start with the allotment, work out where the beds are going to go, the plots, and then paint them up, put them in position, and plant them. Stick a few people around, and we'll have to add some more people in there later on. The roadwork scene's come on quite well. The promenade is finished, garden walk behind it, harbour's back down in position. So we're ready for the next stage. I've been making these improvements to the layout, and now when you come up, because I've got the harbour there, it looks as if the whole of the room is filled with the layout, and that there is no way of getting to do any work at the back there. But of course, as you've seen, this harbour here lifts up and makes one access hole, and there's another one at the back there where you can see that dark line where I can crawl underneath the table, the board, and stand up in there. But what I don't like is that you can actually see the line, the hole. So I want to build something up at the back here to make it look as if it is continuous, and that's what I'm going to try and do now. Well, I'm about 5'9.5" and shrinking, and I set the camera so that it is actually at my eye level, and now if I make a backdrop this height here, you won't be able to see the hole. One shame is that there's a hole here which I won't be able to block off, because that is my access hole for any problems that I have in a very long tunnel which starts off there and goes all the way round and comes out here. So I need to be able to get in there in case I have any derailments, and as I say, that there is my access hole for that purpose. Now the first thing I've done is put this long strip here with a little gap in here, so it's set back a little bit, and that is screwed onto the backboard there. Well, having got the batten fixed on, I've now screwed this scrap piece of plywood onto the back of the batten. And now comes the big experiment. I've never tried this before, but I'm going to try using expanding foam, a gap filler, and spray that onto the plywood. And that should make it much easier for me to stick trees into the new ground that I formed. So that should look interesting, but because it's a brand new idea, I've got to have a job on whiskey muck, so we'll see how we get on with that. Now what I've done, I've put a bit of shape into those 3 pieces of scrap plywood, and time to get on with the foam. Well, they recommend that you spray the surface with a drop of water to start with, to improve the adhesion and the curing. So there we've sprayed it with water, and now I have given it a shake, and they say give it a really good shake. So that's it now, and we'll start by holding it upside down and pull the trigger in there to start with. do a bit of shaving off afterwards, and they say that it expands quite a lot while it's setting, so I have to do what we can here now and then let it set. Right, we'll have to let that cure now, and then I can come back and carve off what I don't want. When things go horribly wrong, I was taking a train back to the station where it belonged, and I went past the foam which had expanded but not set, and that was the track it was supposed to go along, and this is what the result. The locomotive and the first carriage ploughed through the partly dried foam, and now I've got to clean all that off, and that's going to be a bit of a job, I think. But oh dear, oh dear. Well, this is now the next day, and the foam's all nicely set, so now I'm going to try shaping it to the shapes that I want, and we'll see how we get on with that. I'm using a Stanley knife and just cutting and breaking. Well, that seems to run clear, so that should be okay. What I've done now, I've cut myself a little piece off the end of an old windowsill, and I've got a piece of sandpaper, and I'm going to wrap that round the block like that and glue it on with nothing on the bottom, and then I can run that along the track and smooth off the face of the cliff. Having smoothed off the face of the cliff, I've now mixed some burnt umber with a drop of white, and I'm going to paint the foam to give it a base colour, and then later on I can put some bits of green and highlights on it, and then put some trees and bushes and what have you along the top. I'll just have to take that bit by bit to make sure I don't overdo it, but we'll see how we get on. Well, that's coming on nicely, and I'll come back with drop of green, drop of black, and put a few highlights on it, just break up the monotony. Well, there we are. It's, I wouldn't say finished, but it's well on the way. I've put a couple of trees in there. Unfortunately, the light wasn't very good to see them properly. A few little bushes and clumps along the top. Oh, I'll get that finished later on. On the whole, I'm really pleased. It's disguised the hole, so that you don't see that anymore. And yeah, I'm really pleased with that. Now, I know it's not perfect, but it's the best I can do, and I'm quite pleased with it. And as every modeller knows, no layout is ever finished, because when you think it might be, you change something. That's modelling. Enjoy it.